Good morning, everybody, and good morning, Miss. And we are the group 2, and we are here to talk all about theorizing gender. Gender theory assumes that individuals speaking, thinking, acting, and perceiving are seen as constructed with culturally particular patterns of behavior that grows through time. Gender theory is concerned with the building or development of the self. Gender theory has made it easier to conduct multidimensional evaluation of how the social created difference between men and women structure variety of social behavior.
So, good morning, everyone. So, the gender lenses of androcentrism, gender polarization, and gender essentialism. So, androcentrism, this theory suggests that society tends to be centered around men and their perspective, often balancing more than women. For example, sa workplace, like sa construction site, nga ang naiduha ka babae ug lalaki din ang profession is they're an engineer. So also when it comes to making decision, ang mas paminahon ka nga decision kay ang mga laki or mabigyan ng pansin and spread societal girl. Kay tungod ani mga stereotype nga mas capable daw ang laki kaysa sa babae even though ang girl nasa enough capabilities nga mahimong decision ana pabutang. Next is gender polarization. This theory emphasizes the division of gender roles into distinct and opposite categories, such as men being associated with masculinity and women with femininity. Example lang niya kay kanang nag-asawa. Ang lalaki ang giisip nga nagdala sa panimalay pinaagi sa pagsustenso og pagpanarbaho, while ang babae kay tigbantera daw sa bata or sa balay. Next is gender essentialism. This theory proposes that there are inherent and fixed characteristics that define what it means to be a man or a woman, such as biological differences or predetermined traits. Example lang kay they have this belief na ang woman kay emotionally sensitive, nurturing og soft, while ang man daw kay naturally aggressive o rational. Yeah, this reflects essentialist viewpoint. Next, the individual level theories, biological functionalism, social roles, and social learning. Number one is biological theory. This theory focuses on biological differences between males and females as an explanation for gender differences in behavior and ability. Example, this biological theory agrees that biological attributes such as genes and hormones that determine the sexuality of individuals and are responsible for the different behavior and differences among males and females in our society. This theory position is that biological sex creates gendered behavior. Next is the functionalism. This theory suggests that gender roles exist to fulfill specific functions in society, with men typically taking on instrumental roles related to work and women assuming expressive roles related to nurturing and care. So like sa usa ka community, ang mga laki ang mas gipangita sa mga trabaho. So, kanang working ba kanang pang-hiring mas gipangita ang mga laki nga nagkainahanglan og kusog sa kakayahan sa technical such as kanang mga construction, while ang babae kuno kay sa mga trabahoon nga nagkinahanglan sa pag-alaga sa mga tao sama ng pagbantay sa bata. Next is social learning. This theory asserts that individuals acquire gender behaviors and roles by observing and imitating others, particularly through socialization processes. So, for example, children learn about gender expectations by observing and imitating the behaviors of their parents, peers, and other significant figures in their environment. Like when a child witnessing their father being praised for displaying assertiveness and competitiveness may learn that these traits are desirable for boys.
Interactionist theories doing gender. This theory proposed that gender is not something one has, but rather something one does. It emphasized that gender is socially constructed through everyday instructions and performance where individuals actively engage in behaviors that align with societal gender expectation. The theory, the theory of interactionism during gender emphasized that gender isn't something you inherently process but rather something you actively construct. It reminds us that gender is socially formed through day-to-day interactions and behaviors where people actively engage in practice that contributes to the established gender expectation in society. In these terms, this means that gender isn't just a natural part of who you are, it's something you actively create through your actions and lifestyle choices. It reminds us that we actively participate in the rules and behaviors assigned by society to men and women. This implies an active adherence to gender rules and societal expectation. On the contrary, this theory shows us that we have the ability to decide how we express our gender, and we have control over the actions that define us as either a man or a woman. Gender is a concept we shape through our adoptions and certainly practices and our actions. And the fourth is structuralism. Structuralism's theories analyze how social structures, institutions, and systems shape and perpetuate gender inequalities. These theories examine how power dynamics, norms, and cultural beliefs influence gender relations and contribute to gender-based discrimination and oppression. These theories examine how the structures within society, institution, and system contribute to the issue of gender inequality. These theories explore how the dynamics of powers, practices, and cultural beliefs influence gender relations and contribute to discrimination and oppressions based on gender. In these terms, these theories in structuralism focus on the different phases of society, such as family, education, and work, and how they shape the status of gender inequality. They analyze how the power dynamics in society influence that establish and perpetuations of gender norms and discrimination. This means that this theory draw attention to the intricacies of societal structures and how they impact gender relations, as well as how they contribute to the establishment and perpetuations of gender norms and discriminations.
Institutional theories explore how gender is embedded within various social institutions such as family, education, politics, and workplace. These theories investigate how institutional practice, policies, and norms reinforce gender rules and inequalities. So, institutional theories provide a framework for understanding how gender is shaped and perpetuated within different social institutions. These theories examine how the practice, policies, and norms of institution contribution to the reinforce of gender rules and equalities. So, mo ni ang mga example kaning family. Kuha siya, in the context of the family institution, kay institutional theories explore how gender rules are constructed and maintained through various practice and expectation. For example, tradition gender norms often assign women the primary responsibility for household. Mga trabaho nun, ng mga buhaton sa balay or childcare. While ang men are expected to be the primary breadwinners, which is sila lagi ang mo trabaho like para sa mga needs sa mga ilang anak or para mga needs sa ilang mga asawa or mga needs sa balay. These gendered rules might be reinforced through socialization process within the family, such as parents assigning different chores or treating children different based on their gender. Lagi lahi tayo yung mga trato sa kuan kay lahi man ang babae, lahi pod ang lalaki. Then next we have also example of education. Institutional theorists examine how education institutions contribute to the productions of gender inequalities. For instance, studies have shown that girls and boys might be steered towards different subjects based on gender stereotype. Girls are often encouraged to pursue humanities and social science, while ang mga laki are encouraged to pursue mathematics and science. Just, ge- just gendered expectation can limit opportunities for individuals and perpetuate gender dispar- disparities, disparities in fields of study and career choice. Lahi-lahi tag mga choices pag abot sa mga like mga works, abi na kanang natay mga makatunan sa atong pag-eskwela, lahi-lahi tanan yung mga ganahan. Then we have also politics. Institutional theories also analyze how political institution and processes perpetuate gender inequalities, which women are often underrepresented in position of political power, such as in parliament or government cabinet. This underrepresentation can be attributed to various institutional factors including base candidate selection process, gender expectation of leadership, and nascently persistence of male dominant political network. We also have workplace. Institutional theories shed light on how workplace contribute the reproduction of gender roles and inequalities. For instance, gender norms and expectation might lead to the concentration of women in lower paid, lower status occupations, while men dominate higher paid and leadership positions. Workplace policies such as limited access to parental leave or inflexible work schedule can also reinforce traditional gender roles by placing a disproportionate burden on women in terms of caregiving responsibilities. So, institutional theories aims to identify and challenge the mechanism and practice within social institutions that pursue gender inequalities. By understanding these dynamics, scholars and activities can work towards creating more inclusive and equitable institutions that provide equal opportunities and challenge traditions gender norms. Culture sa una pa lang jud kay ang babay magstay ra jud sa balay, kay ang tan-aw mo nila sa una sa babay kay dili nila kaya ang trabaho sa lalaki. Pero karon sa atong generation, mga independent na kay mga babae kay mismo sila mo trabaho para silang kagalingon o para sa ilang pamilya. Well, ang lalaki sa una, sila mismo ang nagtrabaho, sila mismo ang nagkuan sa mga needs para sa balay, para sa mga needs sa ilahang asawa and children.
Critical theory on gender. Critical theory on gender. Critical theory focuses on understanding and challenging power relations, social hierarchies, and oppressive structures related to gender. It seeks to identify and transform the underlying social, economic, and political systems that perpetuate gender inequality and discrimination. These theories provide different perspectives and frameworks for understanding the complexities of gender and its influence on society. Here are two examples within critical theory. Intersectionality. Critical intersectionality recognizes that gender intersects with other social categories such as race, class, and sexuality, resulting in unique experience of oppression and privilege. Queer theory. Queer theory challenges normative assumptions about gender and sexuality. It questions the fixed and binary understanding of gender and embraces
Summary. In addition to criticizing the status quo, feminist philosophy also examines fundamental presumptions. It challenges the idea of sex and gender, investigates post-colonial and postmodern feminist critiques, and advances intersectionality ideas. Shelley Budgeon, a senior lecturer in sociology, focuses on the dynamics of contemporary femininity, late modernity, and post-feminist neoliberal, neobi, neoliberalism as they relate to how socio-political change affects gender relations and identifications. That's all. Thank you.